Yeah, welcome to the show. 12th of March. 4 days ago, 16th of March is when Alan DeGeneres gets here. It's the 16th of March when my son marries his fiancée, Christine Carter, and becomes Mr. and Mrs. Samuel Beavis. Although they now tell me that when you talk about brides and grooms on the wedding, you should actually be talking about the bride first. Yeah, I'm dressed. I had to get up because I've got the TV going. Get to see I actually, and I do get dressed. I do get dressed for the occasion. Yes, I'm wearing the same thing as yesterday. But I ironed it, I wash it, and I put it away, so it's clean again. Now, I don't often get to talk about politics. What I'm talking about with politics today is we have Julia Gillard and Tony Abbott. Then we have the Greens and the National Party. Now, what I'm not sure about is why we talk about so much on the policies of the Liberals and the policy of the Labor government, or the policies that are in place now by the Labor government, and the policies that the Liberal Party will bring in. Yet we still have the Greens, and we have the National Party, and we did lose one of the other parties. And I see that Pauline Hanson's coming back to the fray. Now, can you imagine her being the leader of the country from a nation? But she needs to get so many more seats to knock off one of these major parties. Australian politics is one of those things that all based on how much money is spent, how much money is provided to those who are going to vote. You just don't know, because in the old days, what they used to say, what they're saying now is that a lot of the politicians have second jobs. Now, why would they have second jobs when they're getting paid so much as a politician today? We have our local member for the Liberal Party is Joanna Gash. She's just been voted in as the mayor of Narra. Then we have our local government. We have the representatives of Narra who run their rates. So, and then we have the state elections. We have the state elected person. We have the local elected person, and then we have the Commonwealth federal government elected person. There's three different governments being provided to the one source that I live under on my roof. Now, in each case, they do get paid a substantial amount of money to do their job. Although in some cases they say they don't get paid as much as they would be if they were running a business in the same situation. Well, they wouldn't be in that situation if they weren't a politician. In the old days, they used to say that they had a second job because a politician wasn't paid so much in those days. Australian federal politics, there we go there. National affairs, Australian government politics, Australian elections, there we go there. And we have all these different parties. Search. Party name. Search. Now, it's even hard to find out who's who in our elections. Although, if I go to my Twitter account, because I've got politics in my lists, I can tell you all those who are listed for politics who can be tweeted. They're on Twitter. They're government agencies, government people who talk on Twitter. So you can have a one-on-one conversation with someone, like you do on Facebook. Now we have Twitter. Now, for instance, I'm thinking, well, while Julie Gillard may not be seen to be doing the job, but she seems to be doing a better job than what the Liberal Party had been doing. It's the same as Abbott. I call him Wal Abbott because I used to know a Wal Abbott in the Navy. And it just seems funny. It seems the guy that Mr. Abbott, Tony Abbott, Wal Abbott, just kind of grind together and sound rather the same, and they act the same. Now, the MP for the Greens is Adam Brandt. Now, there's also Pauline Hanson. Now, Pauline Hanson is supposed to be coming into it. Now, if they get enough parties voted in, then we wouldn't have a Liberal Party leader or a Labor Party leader. We'd have a Greens leader. Now, why can't Adam get such a substantial number of votes or people in each of the electorates to represent the Greens? I know the Greens get votes. They must get votes because they're the ones who help the Labor Party get in onto being the leader of the parties at the time. It's like the Liberal National parties. They have a national leader as well as a Liberal leader, but they combine the votes to elect the one who's going to be the Prime Minister of Australia. I would like to think that maybe the National Party leader should stand up and say, I want to be the elected Prime Minister of Australia instead of Tony Abbott. I don't have the National Party leader on here on Twitter. I have Malcolm Turnbull, Joe Hockey. I have Wayne Swan. Now, I would like to think that some of these other guys in the parties would be better or should be given a better chance of becoming Prime Minister. Let's give everyone a chance, not just these one-party votes for the Liberal Labor. It's just like Bathurst, the V8 supercar races. All we had was Holden and Ford, and slowly the other companies are coming in onto the thing, think it's a good thing to do. So why can't we do it with Australian politics? We have Liberal, Labor, Nationals, Greens. Let's have a Greens leader. You never know. Mercedes-Benz might end up being the front runner or first place for the supercars by the end of the year. A minority to win the majority. So let's do the right thing. Let's vote all our heart out for the Greens or the Nationals. But then again, let's hope the Nationals or the Greens, if they get enough seats, sit independent to the other parties and put all what they would envisage should be done by the country or for the country is actually done. Now, my guest today is Ted Mulry, and he's singing Falling in Love Again. And we'll talk about Ellen after the show, after the song. So here's Ted Mulry, Falling in Love Again, and I'll tell you about Ted Mulry at the end of the song. Okay, here it is.
It's talked about, it's knowing books, it's sung in songs and read in books. It's everywhere around the world. It happens every day. Falling in love again.
again. Ooh, lost again.
It's wondering why she is late for late night drinks in street cafes. It's what to do and where to go when she is not around. Falling in love again. Falling in love again. I lost my heart again in a wonderful world of my own. Those times when you're up, those times when you're down, just thinking of her every day. But if I had to choose between this and the world, I'd choose to feel this way. Special times that lovers know, that feeling as it starts and then it grows. They realize and then they know that feeling's gonna be falling in love again. Falling in love again. I lost my heart again in a wonderful world of my own. Falling in love again. Falling in love again. I lost my heart again in a wonderful world of my own. Falling in love again. Falling in love again. I lost my heart again in a wonderful world of my own. Falling in love again. Falling in love again.
Yes, this record is copyrighted by EMI, and I'm putting the credit to the EMI for the song and for the album. So I'm giving them credit. So I'm not in not detriment to the copyright of the song. And the song has actually come from YouTube, and it actually goes back on YouTube that I'm listening to it from. And I'm not getting any funding or any money from doing so. So if I'm still in breach of copyright, please let me know. Okay, Ted Mulry, the singer of the song, 2nd of September 1947 to the 1st of September 2001. I didn't know he died. Well, was a singer, songwriter, bass player and guitarist. He was born in Oldham, Lancashire, England, but achieved his success in Australia. Firstly as a solo performer and then leading his own band, Ted Mulry Gang. Sometimes officially credited as just TMG. Ted Mulry, first, they tell me that if you're going to be a presenter, you should smile as you talk. Well, I've never had the smile to talk. Usually I have a beard. So I'm attempting to smile and talk at the same time. And I don't think it's going to look real like me. I'll have a look when I'm finished and see how it looks. Ted Mulry came to the attention of the music industry when he sent a demo of some of his own compositions to Albert Productions in Sydney. He was persuaded to be recorded himself and soon rose to fame as a solo singer-songwriter with his own composition, the pop ballad Julia, which made the Australian charts in 1970. He then went on to score a major hit with the Easy Beats songwriting team, Harry Vander and George Young song Falling in Love Again in 1971. He was a prolific songwriter, and a number of bands, artists such as John Farnham and Alison McCallum, recorded his songs. The most notable being rock band Sherbet, who had a hit with his song You're a Woman. He travelled to England briefly in 1972 and recorded one single there under the name Steve Ryder, but returned to Australia soon after. During his time as a solo artist, he released 2 albums, Falling in Love Again and I Won't Look Back. After getting retired of being backed by different backing bands in 1970, he switched from acoustic guitar to bass and formed his own band, the Ted Mulry Gang. Now, their first major hit and the biggest of their career was 1975 single Jump in My Car. Now, I think that might be on one of my next albums that I put through, so you'll get to hear that song as well. And hopefully I won't have to read this out again. Now, in January 2006, David Hasselhoff recorded a version of Ted's classic Jump in My Car whilst in Australia. Hasselhoff's version was subsequently released in England and went to number 3 in the charts there into October 2006. Now, they don't say much about how he died, although they're those things that you don't want to bring up about the death of someone. Although, in real terms, it should be in here somewhere to indicate whether he has a family or he left a family behind, or so Ted Mulry announced that he had diagnosed with terminal brain cancer, giving Ted a series of tribute concerts organised shortly before his death. Oh, okay, here we go. So he had terminal brain cancer. Oh, Ted Mulry standing in for as lead vocalist. Steve now fronts the rock band Black Label and performs at very many venues around New South Wales and Australia and Victoria, often supporting bands such as the Angels. Give me that series of tribute concerts organised shortly before his death. So he did go around the country before his death just to give his break on things related to his songs and music. Now, tomorrow night, today is Tuesday and tomorrow is Wednesday, I've got to do a speech to my son's wedding on Saturday. And I thought one of the ways I can do this speech is do it on YouTube in front of you guys, and you'd come back and give me an opinion of what you feel about my speech. Now, hopefully he doesn't get to see it, because he doesn't want to hear it. He thinks it's going to be 7 pages long. His father-in-law says he's got 2 pages to go through. I've been telling everyone I've got 7 pages, and I'm going back to the days when he was born. And I am going back to the days he was born, but I'm still only going to do it for 1 page. Now, I'm still trying to get Joel and Benji to come back to me on Twitter to say whether they can come to the wedding or not. It's Saturday. Benji and Joel, and he's a KFC manager. He's an up-and-coming KFC manager. Get KFC to sponsor you to be here. You do all these ads, but there's no music to the ads that represent who you are. I know you like the sport. I do lawn bowls. I do 10-pin bowling. I actually went to Hawaii to play against the Americans in Hawaii as a defense team. and we won in 1995. We went back in 1997, they slaughtered us. They brought their big guns out. Those were the days of my Navy life. Once I get over this winning, I'll probably reflect a bit more on my Navy time. There's some funny times, there's some sad times, and there's some rotten times. It's funny how, as I was talking yesterday about things from the past, it's really funny how the things from the past that you've done it in wrong or error are the things that you remember today. And there's things that you want to remember yesterday that you can't remember for today, as I said yesterday. I used to go to Sunday school when I was 5 and 6, in Melbourne. And how it used to happen is Mum and Dad would put us out the street next to the driveway, and a truck would come by, and on the sides have panels that pull out, and that would act as the windows or places to see out as you drove by. Now this truck would go in and out all the streets and pick up the kids to take them to Sunday school. Now what Mum would do, she'd give me 50 cents to put into the collection tray. And what would happen is that we'd get out the back of the bus or the truck, and there's a shop right next door, and you could get a big stick, Mr. Big Stick. And it was a long big stick of chewing gum, and you could buy it for 20 cents. So I'd buy a stick of this chewing gum for 20 cents and put 30 cents into the collection plate. Yeah, I'm losing my voice. And then what would happen is that we'd go into the sermon, the first half hour, first 10 minutes of the sermon, then they'd say, kids, out and go and play and go and do what you have to do with Sunday school. Now, next thing you know is we're supposed to get back into the truck. Now, this is back in the 70s. And then the truck would take us home again. What I would do is, instead of catching the truck, I'd start walking home. I'd walk down Moreland Road, down across where the freeway is getting built. But just before we get there, my legs are getting tired. I'm getting sore. I can't walk anymore. So you know what I did? As a 5 and 6 year old, I hitchhiked. I put my thumb out. Put a thumb out. And and get someone to pick me up, to drop me off at Kintala Street, and then walk up Kintala Street. Now this was in the days of the 70s. I was reading in the paper years later, there were kids getting kidnapped around that time and taken off and done whatever that was done to the kids. It was underbelly time in the 80s, where the Morans were getting killed because of the drugs. I didn't know about it, but I hitchhiked from Sunday school. And that was what I did on Sunday, and got home and knew Mum and Dad was out of bed by then. Because I think, pretty sure that they only sent me to Sunday school so as they'd have a good time on Sunday mornings. Maybe. Well, that's my show. It's the 12th of March, 2013, 10:56 p.m. So it's 22:56 Navy time. And we'll catch you again tomorrow. And tomorrow, for those who find it lucky or find it unlucky, it will be 13:03:13. So really, I should be doing the show tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, because then it'll be sailor's time, 13, and I should finish it at 13, so it'll be 1:13 or 13:13, 13:03:13. Now, For those who think it was really lucky, stand by. Okay, love you again. Catch you again tomorrow. Bye.